better. I've changed the filter here now, so it's actually just rolling out some of the low end really, really gently. Holy, that's bright. What's up guys, it is Unders. We are still here doing our track from scratch. We've got a pretty solid overall big wall of sound, nice droppy type drum and bass thing going on. I also like the intro we've been building up so far. Now, what really happens when the drop comes in, we get this big wall of sound, there's loads going on. But what to me, when I listen to it, is missing is like a lead melody, something that kind of sits in the middle and just helps the song follow along, so for the ear to catch on to. So in today's video, today's track from scratch, this part, what we're going to try and do is discover a melody that's going to sit inside the song and help it move along. So let's dive into that.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up, I'm hitting the ground.
All right, so just as a reminder, we jump into this part here, and this is where I think we need something to come in. To me, just in there, it needs some kind of melody. Now we do have the lo-fi piano here going as well, and that comes in a little bit later and helps with the whole wall of sound effect. There's kind of a backing effect. I'm not sure we can really have it fill in the space. So I think maybe let's try like a lead or something like that. What we'll do, we'll try like the ES2, and we'll probably end up going to Alchemy because I always end up going to Alchemy. So let's grab the ES2 and do that on a new channel. I do have up in front of me my iPad with Logic Remote on. I'm thinking we can maybe use this to give us some ideas. If you've got an iPhone or an iPad, you can actually pair it up and use this. So you get a bunch of useful features for sort of music creation in here, right? And what we're going to do is maybe have a look at using this. See, I like to pretend that none of you guys are on MIDI keyboard because it's something I always get of, you just play it on your keyboard and I can't do that. Well, now I'm giving you options, aren't I? Yeah. So what we can do on here, over on scale, let's reduce it so my big fat fingers don't hit too many keys. And then we can also go and limit it as well. What we were working in was F sharp major, wasn't it? So if we go like major pentatonic, look how it's synced with the track. That's because I set the key that we're working in the actual track. So now, the other way we can find it is we built chords and whatnot earlier. We can absolutely just go and look at taking, say this, and bring it down into here. No, we don't want to copy over automation data in this case. I'm going to hit U just to loop around that. That definitely doesn't work, but what we can do now is open this up. Don't need that automation data there for the mo. Okay, and within these notes, we can probably find ourselves a melody that's going to sit with everything. In this first bit, we know that the chord's going to line up using these three notes. We could probably do something quite simple. In fact, actually, what we'll do, we'll keep those two notes like that at the end, and we'll maybe build a melody that goes down using these like this. And I'm literally just spitballing ideas at the minute to try and discover something that's going to sit in the track. Right, so it's quite a rapid melody, but definitely not vibing with the sound up that high. So we're going to drop it in transpose. So that's shift option down. Probably down another one for that sound. It's too bassy. Right, I think it needs some pacing in it, so perhaps. All right, and that's just using notes that are in that particular chord structure, right? I'm just not vibing with the sound, so I'm going to do what I said I'd probably do anyway. Grab Alchemy, and I'm just going to use a basic saw just to get an idea of what I want and probably tweak around that. So the way we can do that in Alchemy is go to File, go to Initialize Preset, jump into Advanced, it will just give us a saw. I think if we keep something similar to that rhythm, we're going to be all right. Jump chords here across this section, so we can do something a little bit different in flexing the notes around. Let's go quite high on that one. The next one we drop right on the bar, so that can simply be like so. We can probably get rid of U entirely, or actually have that. So yeah, that kind of works. And then we'd stagger these two notes up. We've actually got then exactly the same rhythm, right? That should line up perfectly with the chords in as well, right? I simply don't like it leading up to that note, so I'm going to bring it down to what appears in the next chord. So only difference here, this note is longer than shorter in this one, and then we'd repeat the same like 2 bars over the next section with potentially like the same rhythm set. The longer one just there. And what we could do is make it instead jump up to a different note in this instance. And what we need to do was shorten that one, wasn't it? And bring this to halfway, like so. And instead of leading it off of the higher note this time, we're going to go back down to a lower note on this one. So we're going to get rid of U, and everything's rising, so we'll stick with that. I think that can kind of like signify that we're at the end here. So we'll do this to this and to that. That just sounds a little bit wonky. That should be there, and that should be there. All right, so overall, we've now built up now the chord structure just repeats, so we could just take that section. So now really it's going to be a case of either making or finding a sound that fits in. I'm not sure if like I want to go for a lead sound or a piano sound or even like an organ. I'm going to have to play around with some sounds, get kind of where I want, and then tweak into it, I think. So this is really subtle, but I'm thinking this is the kind of thing I'm going to tweak into it. So the sound's really nice, but got that really like quick decay, right? I'm going to put some hold in. It's just going to help it hold a little bit longer. Attack wise, just going to select here and have a look at what this connects to. So it's connected to the velocity. Okay, so I'm going to dial back a bit on what the velocity is doing, because at the moment the attack's sort of taking the energy away. So now it holds for a little bit longer. Now, because of this notch filter, it's losing, well, that's what's making the sound really small, but it's too small for this kind of track at the minute. The master volume is currently linked to that ADSL. I'm just going to get rid of it entirely and just have it at max. Much better. I've changed the filter here now, so it's actually just rolling out some of the low end really, really gently. And I like what's going on there. I'm going to copy it twice now, just loop around that, just covering these sections. And what I'm going to do is start to automate that cutoff. So we'll come in. And I want it to be there, but not quite as prominent as it is. I want it to slowly come in over those first couple of bars. So, you know, Alchemy is nice and easily laid out for us to automate the cutoff filter. We can just go into automation, go down to here, go down to Alchemy, and it's so well organized. I can literally just go like filter 1, which we know it's on filter 1, and grab the cutoff. Super, super simple to do. If I just highlight these two sections and press Z, it's going to fill the screen up for me just to draw this in. Just zoom out a touch so I can put some points either side, which you guys should know I like to do. And then I'm just going to dial that back a little bit, just have it build in. And so we need to actually take that the other way. And we just need to work side by side here with the resonance, okay? Reason for that, wherever that cutoff point is, the resonance is really being pushed up. So what we also need to do is just control the resonance amount as well. So what we're going to do here is take it right down at this point, but still have it kind of get to where it wants to be by here. So something like this should work. Yeah, and that's starting to get a melody sitting in there. That works nicely. It fits in with all the chords and everything. I'm liking where it's going. Let's copy it over this 4-bar section. Copy. I'm going to loop the whole lot. Actually, what I'm going to do is highlight the whole lot, press T and G, join it all together, and double tap T to get back to where we were. Now, make sure we're looped over the whole section. Let's just listen and make sure it works. So across the 16 bar, do we miss it when it's gone and we bring the other layers in? too, right? I think what we can maybe do, we're going to bring the chords down here from the lo-fi piano and just see how they line up as a layer. And I think it might just run as a really nice ARP as well. So what we can do, I could either make a copy of it, but we're already at 67 odd channels already. So let's add a MIDI FX. We'll add the arpeggiator in. And what we need to make sure we do is automate it on and off. So let's get ourselves another automation lane, go down into NAR. We're going to go to main, MIDI insert, bypass, arpeggiator, right? So here, I'm going to make these 3 points, actually we want 4 points, and we're going to bring this so it's bypassed for that section like so. No, other way around. I'm going to bring that point up so it's bypassed in that section where we've got the melody in. There you go. So it's going to bypass for this bit and then it will snap on here and we'll just zoom right in. Looks like we've done pretty good. We've got a little space after that note to get the automation in. And once it's landed on this section, should I mean, it's a bit El Rapido. That's going to be a weird rhythm, but might work. Nah. 1/8 maybe though. I'm going to bring variation up to 2, octave range up to 2, give it some extra range. Right, take variation off, leave the octave range on 2. Okay, have it so it consistently goes up. No, so octave range on 1, consistently going up, 1/8 is okay. In options, we need to have a little bit of swing. That's working all right. What we're just going to do is just hit A, and there's a couple of like jumps in here that we kind of don't like. So what we might have to do is keep it consistent, and any notes like that are cutting off, we can maybe just run through like this. If this doesn't work, I'll just grab the others and bring them through again. But if we do something like that instead, reason being we can hear it jumping in between notes. If we give it longer notes to work with, might perform a little better for us, and we'll still have the melody kind of switching at the top here. Right, now does it work as an exchange from one to the other? Right, so there we go. Managed to find a melody, give you a couple of ideas of how you can approach it. And in the end, I've done it by using the chords and chopping a melody out of that and just trying to work out with some nice rhythmic ideas. It's worked out all right so far. What I'm feeling now is that this is starting to get kind of messy and there's noise fighting with each other. I'm not going to mix it, but I do want to approach it a little bit and give it a bit of a balance, just so I've got a nice, clearer vision going forward. So that's what we're going to look at doing in the next video, and I will see you in that.